Hey, beautiful yogis. Welcome to Kiss and Nilsson Yoga. Today, I have my beautiful friend Sam assisting me teach you a gentle yoga practice. So it's a practice that you can do just before bed or whenever you feel like you need to ground and really be still, but still using the poses to open up the body. You will need a blanket for this practice. So if you haven't got one, please grab one now and we can get started. All right, so we'll start by grabbing our blanket and coming into child's pose. So we'll bring the big toes to touch, and you can choose how wide you like the knees, but making sure you're not too wide because you will still want to make this child's pose gentle, all right? And then taking the blanket, rolling the blanket up and placing the blanket behind the knees. So essentially, it'll create more cushioning. So as you start to sit back, sit bones towards the heels, the hips are a little bit more elevated and there's slightly less flexion at the knee joint. Then you can start to walk the hands forwards and allowing the heart to melt down towards the mat. Forehead down, arms heavy, head heavy. Now, intuitively, you may want to bring the arms alongside the body, allowing the shoulders to fall forward, or you may like to keep your arms forward or do any variation with the arms that feels good for you. So we will be holding this pose for around 2 minutes or so to really just allow the energy to ground, to settle into your sacred space of practice. And just take the time to just simply breathe here. So feeling the breath being received in the low back ribs. Breathing into the low back, feeling that expanding with every inhale. And allowing the heart to melt that little bit closer towards the mat with every exhale. Feeling the legs get really heavy, the bones get heavy. And just start to notice where you're holding tension in the jaw, the tongue. And really just starting to soften. Closing the eyes and beginning to direct the breath to the belly. Allowing the belly to be really soft to receive the breath. And any feelings of anxiety or feel like the energy is very scattered, just choosing to breathe it all away in this pose. Breathing in space into the back body, space into the low back, the hips with every breath in. And then really becoming heavy and grounding even more with every breath out. And we'll take one more big breath in. slow, steady breath out. And then gently starting to bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Slowly peeling yourself all the way up. That's it. And then beginning to shift the weight forwards. We'll move the blanket out of the way and we'll start to slide the right knee towards the right wrist. And then working the right foot across the body, so across towards the left side of the mat, we're coming into Pigeon Pose. All right, so extending the left leg back, and we'll take the blanket and bring it underneath the right hip. So blanket will come underneath the right hip. So essentially, you can choose whether you'd like the right heel to go a little bit closer towards the left hip point or a little bit further away towards the front of the mat. And then here, come up onto the fingertips, lift your heart a little bit higher, take a big inhale. Now keeping the length in the low back, starting to slowly walk the hands forward as you fold in on the exhale. So for you, you may choose to stay upright on your forearms or even on your hands if that feels best for the hips. Or you can start to really fold in just like Sam's doing. Forehead down, arms heavy. And just like we did in child's pose, start to send the breath to the low back ribs. Feeling the opening of the tissue of the glutes, the hip with every inhale. And again, allowing everything to soften, get heavy with every exhale. Eyes closed. Attention is in. For a lot of us, this is our sacred time to ourselves, our yoga practice. It is the opportunity to study the self, not just with the physical body, but studying deeper layers, the subtle layer, the energetic layer. And being really aware of what needs to be breathed away, what emotions need to be breathed away. And what is it that you need to breathe in? More compassion, more love. And really acknowledging, really understanding what you need to clear. And being very soft, very gentle with yourself. Last 30 seconds. Deep, even and smooth breath in and out of the belly. Last big breath in. Slow breath out. And then gently starting to lift the gaze as you inhale, walking the hands back in nice and slow on the exhale. That's it. Now pressing down into the hands, you'll press the earth away as you slide the right knee back. Coming back into your tabletop, you'll just move the blanket out of the way. And then staying in tabletop for a moment or two, just starting to move the hips a little bit from side to side. Still staying with that even and smooth breath in and out of the belly. And then when you feel ready, just taking your time, you'll start to slide the left knee over towards the left wrist. Left foot comes across the body, and again, you choose if you want the heel to be a little bit closer towards the right hip point. And then you'll place the blanket underneath the left sit bone, extending the right leg out nice and long. So really think about drawing that left hip back, right hip slightly forwards. Then take a big breath in, come up a little higher, keep the length through the low back. Then as you exhale, you can start to gently walk the fingertips forwards. You might stay on the fingertips, or you might lower down to the forearms, or go all the way down. Think chest and forehead down. So just going nice and slow, feeling into your chosen variation. And just really finding that point that isn't your edge. You don't want to go to your edge. You don't want to go straight to it. You want to find that point that's still comfortable, that you can stay here with comfort, with ease. And at any point, if you do feel like you've gone over your edge, just pull back. So this is the practice of self-care, of self-love. Really understanding where you need to be a little bit more gentle and more nurturing with yourself. And then really using the breath to enhance that. So making the breath a little deeper, a little fuller. Really sending the breath to all corners of the body. And again, breathing in space with every inhale. Letting something go, becoming that little bit heavier with every exhale. So using this practice in a sense as your meditation. To turn in, to feel in, to listen in. And even though you're holding poses, really embracing stillness. And we'll just be here for one more minute. Taking a big breath into the back of the heart. Long, slow out breath. Starting to lift the gaze as you breathe in. And then gently walking the hands back in on the breath out. And again, we'll start to slide the left knee back, taking your tabletop, and we'll just move the blanket out of the way. That's it, perfect. And then here, staying in tabletop, just starting to move the hips a little bit from side to side, releasing the tissue that you've just opened. That's it. Making it feel good for the low back with gentle sways. And then starting to walk the hands towards the knees, take a seat, and just start to lower the hips down to one side as you bring the legs around. So we'll take the blanket here and roll up the blanket, and we'll bring the blanket to the thoracic spine. So essentially we're taking a gentle heart opener. So rolling up the blanket, almost like a little sausage shape. And then you'll start to lie back on the blanket from the mid to upper back. That's it. And you want the shoulders to be able to drape over the blanket. So we'll start to open the arms out wide. So it's just a really gentle back bend, really gentle. So you should feel just a subtle opening through the front of the shoulders. Now, those who have anything going on with the low back, and if keeping the legs extended, you can feel something going on in the low back, bend your knees, heel toe the feet as wide as the mat, and allow the knees to knock in. That's it. So allowing the pelvis to be really heavy as you press the feet down. And then starting to really breathe into the heart. Feeling the breath move all the way through towards the arms to the fingertips, and then back towards the heart, allowing the belly to soften on the out breath. And just really allowing yourself to be held by the blanket. So you're in this very open, receptive state. And the heart simply receives the breath. And this is where you can move towards that place of really nourishing, healing, whatever emotions are here at the heart. So we just first feel in and just hold space for whatever is here. The physical opening of the body allows us to go that little bit deeper into the subtle. So just simply noticing that. Allowing that to happen, not being resistant to it. Really feeling in. And as the heart stays open, just keeping the pelvis, the legs really heavy. So you're still, in a sense, anchoring down, grounding. but there'll be this subtle feeling of lightness at the heart. Feeling the sweet current of energy moving through. Breath moving through. This prana, this life force that is compassionate, that is embracing self-love. And we'll just take one more minute here. Big breath into the heart space, filling up. Out the mouth, long breath out. And again, once more, smooth inhale. Long exhale. And then gently starting to roll over to your preferred side. And then pressing down with one hand to peel yourself all the way up. And we'll just simply move the blanket out of the way, and you'll come to lie back down on your back with the legs extended long. And just take a moment here, big inhale. Release the arms alongside the body, long exhale. Let the whole back body ground. Feeling the mid back, the upper back, low back. The whole back body meet the earth. And then here we'll start to extend the arms overhead. So we're coming into a banana shape, so essentially getting into the side body and opening through the side body. So bringing the feet as wide as the mat, just to start. And then you'll cross your right ankle over the left ankle. And if this is too much, if you feel any soreness in the ankles or the feet today, you can just stack or just place the heels next to one another, you choose. And then moving the hips a little bit more over towards the right. So if you need to bend the knees for this and then really move them over, you can. And then starting to send your arms towards the left corner of the mat. So the arms stay nice and long. Maybe you stay here, maybe the left hand grabs a hold of the right wrist. So essentially you're making a big arc, a big banana shape with the body. And starting to breathe into the right lung. And still allowing the whole back body to be heavy, to ground down on the mat. And just starting to simply follow the breath in the belly. The beauty and the simplicity of just following the breath. The gentle rise with every inhale, and gentle fall with every exhale. Last minute here. Big breath in. Long breath out. Gently starting to release the right wrist. Release the cross of the ankles if they're crossed. And we're just starting to take the side bend on the other side. So sliding the right foot back towards the right side of the mat. And then you'll switch it now, bringing the left foot towards the right. And again, if you need to, you can bend your left knee, plant the foot down to move the hips a little bit more over to the left, and then extend the leg long. Then starting to send the arms over towards the right side of the mat, but still keeping the whole back body grounded. We don't want to lift the body to turn to the right. You still keep the back body grounded. It's just the arms that go over and the legs to go over. Maybe you stay, maybe the right hand grabs a hold of the left wrist, and it's a subtle, gentle pull over to the right. Now sending the breath to the left lung. Breathing into the side body. Really breathing in space. And if you notice that the mind wants to run, just gently bringing your awareness to how the body is so still. The connection of the whole back body grounding down to the mat, and how the body is so still, minus that movement of the breath. Last minute here. Last breath in. Long, slow out breath. And then gently just starting to place left foot over towards the left side of the mat. Moving the hips a little bit more in towards the center. And then bringing the arms alongside the body. Palms facing up. Coming to our Savasana as we just let everything land. Bringing our awareness back to the breath in the belly. Bringing the awareness back to the breath at the heart. Feeling grateful that you have taken this time for yourself to be still, to listen, to use the physical body as a tool to open up. To really feel into the energetic layer. And to hold space for whatever is here. Really using this gentle practice to turn in and in. You can stay in Savasana for as long as you like. Thank you for practicing with me today, yogis. Namaste.